Welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. We got a question from a diver about herpes and diving. Keep watching. Thank you for your question. What has not been specified, of course, is exactly the type of herpes that is involved. And there are three to consider. The one is the typical fever blister, which is herpes simplex. Then there is a genital version of herpes. And thirdly, there is a late onset of chickenpox virus, which is herpes zoster, which is also known as shingles. Now, I'm going to assume this has to do with herpes simplex, but I'll cover the others as well. Herpes simplex is a breakout of a virus that remains latent in the nerves that supply skin and typically causes an eruption in the lip when it is exposed to sunlight or sometimes after a period of stress. Actually, what happens is during the period of stress, there's immunosuppression, which allows the virus to actually travel down the nerve roots to the lip, in which it then causes a multiplication of the virus in the lip tissue. And then when the immune system recovers, it recognizes the viral infected cells and it actually causes them to die off. And that's what actually causes the ulcer. So the ulcer actually occurs during the healing process rather than during the infection that happens prior to the ulcer. The bottom line, if you're prone to this type of ulceration, firstly is to protect your lips from sun exposure. So use all the recommended precautions as far as that's concerned. Secondly, if you're diving with an eruption or with a fever blister, be aware that this is something that can be transmitted to other people. So make sure you use your own equipment or be thoughtful about other people if it's rental equipment, and make sure that you disinfect the diving equipment very effectively using a chlorine or bleach solution in order to sterilize the mouthpiece of your regulator. If it is another form of herpes, well, clearly if it's genital in origin, there are some sexual practices that would need to be considered. But as far as the exposure itself, apart from the potential discomfort, it's unlikely that this is going to either spread further or be transmitted to other people. Although again, one would recommend that you disinfect your wetsuit in a responsible way if it is a rental equipment. And lastly, if you're suffering from shingles, which is the chickenpox version of the virus that causes a rash, which is very, very itchy, it's unlikely that you're going to feel like diving. But if you do, prior to all the blisters actually having recovered, or at the point where they have recovered but you still have pain, you need to consider two things. The one is a potential secondary infection of the lesions, and secondly, the distraction that either the pain or itching might cause that would affect the safety of your diving. So you need to consider all these factors, and then on top of that, make sure that you firstly protect other people by disinfecting the equipment you're using if it's going to be shared with someone else, and secondly, making sure that you protect yourself either from infection or from things like sunlight that may exacerbate fever blisters and the like. I hope that helps. And if you have any specific questions, please reach out to us through the information line, and we might be able to provide you with more specific and customized information about this. Thank you again, and until next time, safe diving.